You ever look back at a moment in your life and suddenly it feels way more beautiful than it probably was? Maybe it was an old relationship, an old friendship, your childhood, school days, a person you don't even talk to anymore. And somehow, your brain turns it into this emotional movie scene. The laughs feel louder, the memories feel warmer. Even the painful parts start feeling special. But here's the strange thing. When you were actually living in those moments, you probably didn't feel that happy all the time. You were stressed too, confused too, lonely too. So why does the past suddenly feel so perfect later on? Because your brain doesn't remember life like a camera. It remembers life like a storyteller. And storytellers, they leave things out. Your mind naturally softens memories over time, especially emotional ones. That embarrassing moment, it fades. That anxiety you felt every day, your brain slowly stops replaying it. But the emotional highlights, those stay bright. It's almost like your brain edits your memories, the same way people edit photos before posting them online. You keep the beautiful parts, blur the painful ones, and eventually, the past starts looking better than it really was. That's why people miss relationships that were actually unhealthy. Not because the relationship was perfect, but because memory removes repetition. Your brain remembers the late-night conversations, but forgets the constant overthinking. It remembers feeling wanted, but forgets crying over mixed signals. It remembers the connection, but not the emotional exhaustion. And honestly, that's dangerous sometimes. Because people don't always miss the person. Sometimes they miss the feeling, the comfort, the routine, the idea of who that person could have been. And once nostalgia gets involved, your brain starts protecting the memory instead of telling the truth. That's why old songs hit differently, why certain smells instantly change your mood, why random places suddenly make your chest feel heavy. Memory is emotional. Your brain connects feelings to moments, and later it tries to rebuild those feelings, even if the reality wasn't that great. And social media makes this even worse, because now people constantly compare their present life to edited versions of their past. You scroll through old photos and think, life felt happier back then. But you forget, those photos were just tiny pieces of life. Nobody takes pictures during breakdowns. Nobody records the lonely nights. Nobody posts the moments where they felt lost. So later, all you see are smiles, trips, good lighting, funny moments, and your brain fills in the blanks with emotion. That's why nostalgia feels so powerful. It's not just memory, it's emotion mixed with imagination. And honestly, sometimes your brain romanticizes the past because the present feels uncertain. When life feels confusing, your mind searches for emotional safety. And the past feels safe because it's already survived. You already know how the story ended. Even painful memories can feel comforting later because uncertainty is gone. That's why people go back to toxic relationships, why they text people they promised themselves they'd forget, why they miss versions of life they once wanted to escape. Because familiarity feels safer than the unknown. But here's something important most people never realize. Missing the past doesn't always mean the past was better. Sometimes it just means you're emotionally overwhelmed in the present. That's it. And your brain is trying to escape somewhere emotionally familiar. But memories are incomplete. You have to remember that. Your brain is replaying emotional highlights, not full reality. The past wasn't perfect. It was just real. And now distance is making it look softer than it actually felt. And honestly, that's part of being human. We all do it. We revisit old conversations, old songs, old versions of ourselves, trying to reconnect with feelings we think we lost. But life keeps moving. And sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is stop asking, was the past better? And start asking, why does my present feel so hard to sit with? Because maybe you don't actually miss the past. Maybe you just miss feeling something. And those are two completely different things. Some memories feel beautiful not because they were perfect, but because they're finished.